Hello, my YouTube friends and family. Welcome to my channel, Bagoday Crochet. Here we talk about everything that is yarn and crochet related. And every once in a while, knit. I love knit. I don't knit. I can't teach knit, but I like to look at it a lot and sometimes talk about it. But anyways, I do teach crochet. So if you like to talk about yarn, like we all kind of gather here, it's a yarn junkie, like, area here. We talk about yarn a lot, all kinds. From the lowest in yarn to the highest in yarn, and everything in between, and new yarns, old yarns, and everything in between. And then I do teach crochet tutorials. So at the making of the video, which is 11/12 of 2024, I do have close to 1,300 crochet tutorials. Please, they're all free for you to enjoy. So how about that? Hopefully you find something that you like and want to make. And I do continue to put them on as well. But today's video is not a tutorial. No, it's not. It's not. It is a yarn review. Yeah, yarn review. I do have a tutorial for this hat. You will find that on my channel in a playlist. I have all my tutorials neatly organized in playlist. It'll be labeled crocheted hats. Now this one is called Everything But the Kitchen Sink. Alright? Okay, let's begin, shall we? You might have saw that thumbnail. If not, we have a new yarn on the market at the making of the video. It is from Yarnspirations. Caron Calorama Bamboo Blend. I ran it through the ringer. I did everything with it that I possibly could to see how well of a yarn this is for you. I do want to mention that I am not affiliated with Yarnspirations at all. I bought this yarn myself. Also, I want to mention that my reviews really do not mean, or my opinions really do not mean anything. Everybody has different opinions, and these are just personal based opinions. Whether it's good or bad, I always remember that people's opinions differ. So whether I like the yarn or not, I always encourage everybody, if you have the means, to give it a try. It could be the best yarn or the worst yarn that you ever had in your entire life, but you'll never know unless you try. So please never take my word for it. You guys ready? Let's start it. All right. Caron Calorama Bamboo Blend at the making of the video is only available at yarnspirations.com for $13.49 a cake. I know. I was like, holy crikey, I gotta pay $13.49 for this. I only got a few colors because that was pretty expensive. Sometimes I'd get the whole color palette, and show you all the colors, but when it's a pricey yarn, I'm not gonna do that. I hope that's okay. But anyways, so why don't we go ahead and talk about some specs on it. So they do classify this as a medium weight number 4 yarn. Well, let's check out their 4-weight yarn. I'm going to tell you what I think it is, and then I show it on my hand, and you can say it as you will. I'm going to say that is an okay 4-weight. I would probably call it a little bit on the lighter side of a 4, but it's still a 4. We can bust out the ruler and do the rasp per inch if you want, but I'm guaranteed that it'll still say it's a 4-weight, probably on the light side of the 4, like I mentioned. But yeah, but whatever you think it is, to you, it is. All right, let's move on then. Now recommended knitting needle size for this is a 4.5 millimeter, and a crochet hook size is a 5 millimeter. All right. And it says that it is machine washable and dryable. It tested that. Fiber content. It is 60% acrylic, 20% nylon, and 20% viscose from bamboo. So the name Caron Calorama Bamboo Blend is not a lie, but there is not tons of bamboo in it. It's mostly acrylic. That's okay though. I mean, it is what it is. They said it's a blend, and it is a blend. This is an 8-ounce cake, 227 grams. There are 363 meters, or 396 yards. So we're just going to say that there's about 400 yards of this in this cake. I would call it a lighter 4-weight to a 4-weight yarn, you know. Yeah. All right. Well, how's it feel? It feels good. I won't lie. It feels good. It feels soft and it feels squishy. And as with it being a bamboo blend and only being 20% bamboo, actually, I guess there's 20% nylon. Only being 20% bamboo, it does have a more of a shine on it than I would expect for only being 20% bamboo. It's not like extremely shiny like 100% bamboo yarn is, you know, but it does have a nice shine on it, and it is a very, very soft. And yes, it does smell clean. It smells clean. It smells good. It feels good. It looks good. But is it good? I don't know. I don't know. Well, I know. I already tested it. But I'm going to show you guys. One thing I found, let's see here. Let's see what we did here. Okay. So, I knitted on my knitting machine because I can't knit. Just so you can get a gist of what the yarn looks like on a knitting machine. Okay, so because this yarn comes in solids and then it comes in variegateds. Now the variegateds are very variegated as far as like the color changes are very extremely short. They're not long at all. That's the definition, I guess, of a variegated. Some are longer than others, but this one has very, very short one. So let me bring this up real quick. I'm sorry, should have had this done. I didn't. Okay. So when I first saw it on the website at Yarn Inspirations, it looked like they had a solid to match their variegateds. That's what I assumed initially, right? So they have why do they have so many? Okay, their websites. Okay, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They have 12 solids. I have 2 of them here. This is Wisteria, and this one is Wheat and Wisteria, purple and gold, my school colors. And then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variegated. All right. That variegated's pretty. Why did I get that one? Oh my gosh. All right. So I did get a variegated, a variegated one that I thought would match this yellow one, and a variegated one that I thought would match this purple. So here is the variegated that I thought would match the yellow. Now, and this one is called Sunshine. I think it's very pretty. It's got some green. Well, I guess it doesn't. It's like a greenish yellow, and maybe like a really like peachy pink. It's kind of hard to tell. White, orange. Anyways, from the website, I kind of thought maybe they would match them, you know, but I didn't know if it was going to be exact match. Now, getting them together, it is not an exact match. The yellow in this is not an exact match to this yellow. But, you know, I think it's close enough that if you wanted to work them together, it would be okay. So, I'll hold them up on my finger, and you can see the difference for yourself. So, the one here that way is the variegated, and the one right here, farthest that way, is the solid. So, as you see, they are rather close in color. This is a bit more gold, I think the solid is, but I think if you rolled with them together, You wouldn't even be able to tell. Now, I do have the purple as well. The purple is the one I actually tested everything on, so it's kind of a mess here, but we'll hold up the purple. This is called Wisteria. Very pretty, very appropriate name. I got such a beautiful wisteria vine at my house. If you don't know, I used to be a landscape designer before I was a YouTuber. And at my other house, when I moved there, the first thing I planted was a purple wisteria. It is a sight to be seen when it blooms. Anytime. It should be blooming soon here. It's remarkable. That's all I can say. Anyways, and then yes, the flowers are, mine are just about the exact color of that. So here's the solid. And this variegated here, sorry it looks like this because I've been using it, has a couple different colors of purple. Well, one's kind of a purplish blue, and then you see there's a darker purple in it, and then there's kind of a medium purple in it, and then there's a light purple. We're gonna go, I thought maybe like the medium color purple would kind of match. So why don't we go ahead and hold them up together. I don't want to ruin this cake because it's a brand new cake and I'm probably gonna give it to somebody. So I'll put the solid on this side again and the variegated on this side, just like we did a while ago, so we can check them out and see how well they match up. Let me try to find the color of purple that I think matches it best. Okay, and again, it's not an exact match. As you can see, this right here is the variegated, and over here you can see the solid coming off. But it's pretty close. They're in the same family, and this one has other different colors of purple in it. And you know what? I think that would be just fine too. So, you know, the two that I got, assuming, since, well, I can only assume, I can't be certain because I didn't buy them all because there's so much money. but from the two I got, they're not exact matches, but I still think they would work well together in a project because the colors are so similar with the other colors in the palette of colors. So yeah, I think them being not exact, but you know, still workable. Kind of like their other Caron cakes and whatnot. I don't think they have exact matches, but you know, they're still workable. Their solids are still workable with their variegateds. Nice. I do like that aspect of it. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to show you what it looks like. I did the variegated on my knitting machine, so you could see what it looks like knitted up. Now remember, this is just on a knitting machine, the variegated yarn. This is what it looks like on a knitting machine. And of course, it's not going to look like this in crochet. And it won't look like this in knitting if you do, I would imagine not. I don't know if you use any other stitch other than this simple, whatever this, forgot what this is, stocking knit stitch or something. I don't even know. I don't knit. I probably got messed that up, but it's cool looking, I guess. I mean, it is. I'm not a big variegated type of person. To me, that's a pretty busy yarn. But you know, you put a solid with it, it would tame it down a bit, I think. And I think that this would work with it quite well, especially from a distance. You really can't even tell that and this aren't the same color. I mean, they're not, but by golly, they are close enough that it's pretty neat looking. All right, now, and I did crochet with it, and I did crochet with the variegated. So do you guys want to go check it out, see how she performs crochet? Because after all, you know, we crochet and we could see how well it does on hooks, on the hook. Let's go check it out. All right, I do want to apologize right off that I have to show you here at this desk because the desk that I usually record at is covered in a project that I'm making right now, and I can't move it or I will lose. I mean, there's yarn all over the place and pieces in it. And I can't move this stuff, so or I'll lose what I'm doing. So I'll show you here. So here I started to crochet with the variegated in the recommended hook size. I wanted to see if the bobble, if I did some bobbles, if it would show up in the variegated for one. And actually, they do show up, but you know, not as well as they would in solid. But actually, it's really surprising. I think that if you wanted to incorporate like bobbles or puff stitch or something in it, that it's not gonna, you know, lose itself too much. Now, another thing that I thought would happen was I thought the yarn was gonna split, because when I use it on my knitting machine, it split a few times, right? So when I'm crocheting with it here, it did split a few times, but it wasn't anything like I thought it would be. Because when you look at it, and I'm looking at it in the cake, it looks like it's going to split on me, you know. Some yarns just split, some don't. Bamboo's one to know to split. But then again, this is only 20% bamboo. So, it split a few times, especially when I like right here, and when I was trying to go through these bobbles, not go through them, but you know, go through the top of it split. But really, I really don't think I would call it a splitter myself, because you know, every yarn has the capability of splitting, and it is wound together. It's not glued, so I don't think that I would really call it a splitter, even though at first glance, and then I thought for certain that this stuff was going to split. I guess it's really okay, you know. Maybe a couple of little snags here and there, but I don't think it's anything that anybody couldn't handle. But please remember that everybody crochets differently, and some yarns that split for some people won't split for others, and vice versa. Like a lot of people tell me they can't use Caron Simply Soft because it splits. Now me, Caron Simply Soft does not split at all. So it just depends, I think, on how you hold your hook. Some yarns will split on people and some won't. Sometimes it depends on the type of hook you use. It just depends on, I don't know, just you in general, I guess. The way you swing your hook, I guess. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with that at all. No, not, of course not. There's lots of yarns that split on me that don't split on anybody. I'm just not swinging my hook right or something. But that's okay, because I know that's the way it goes. So I think even though it's variegated, and I don't like variegated yarns, I still think that's pretty. And I like the way it crochets. It glides nice and smooth. And like I said, when I first opened it up, I thought, oh man, that stuff's going to split. You know, it doesn't look like it's even wound very tight at all. You can see that, right? But I think having that much acrylic in it helped keep it together. See how loose that is? It really didn't give me any more trouble, I don't think, than any other yarn of similar fiber content would have. So, and it's very soft. And like I said, it has a slight shine on it from that bamboo. It's not extremely heavy of a shine, but it's still there, and it's still very visible. I think using a lighter weight hook would have given it a nice drape for a shawl. It would make an excellent top. You would not have to wear anything underneath it. Let's see if it comes out okay. Let's do the pull test. Want to? Yeah, it's going to come out fine, because it's such a, you know, like I said, it's soft and smooth, got a little shine to it. It's kind of a slippery feeling yarn. It doesn't feel bad at all, I can tell you that. It really don't. Let me get to a bobble real quick, and then I always say the bobble's a real test, but I don't think it's going to get hung up at all. It's coming out nicely. It's crocheted just fine for me. See, that's a little split I had, but nothing that I couldn't handle. It's probably my fault anyways. There's another little split I had. It's alright though. It's alright. I don't blame the yarn, because there wasn't enough splits in it. When I crocheted with it, it didn't split enough for me to blame the yarn. I only have myself to blame on that. But like I said, to remember, everybody crochets differently. Alright, so as far as it crochets smoothly. And it looks nice crocheted up. Now it's the wash and dry test, okay? I did put it in the, okay, so this is one that has not been washed or dried. It's just straight up off my knitting machine. Nothing has been done to it, all right? That's what it looks like. Straight up brand new yarn right off the knitting machine. Now I did the same piece in my knitting machine, and I put it in the washer and the dryer as per instructions. This is what it comes out looking like. Hold them together. All right. I'll tell you what I see. It comes out faded. You can visibly see that the yarn has faded. I mean, even if you can't see it, I can see it. I'm looking like if the camera isn't showing it for you, I can visibly tell you with 100% certainty that the yarn is faded. This is much, not much, but it is darker than what this is. Will it keep fading over time? I don't know. Maybe it'll just fade once and that would be it. I don't know. But it did fade. Like I said, even if you can't see it, I promise you that it did fade. I'm looking at it physically right now, and that was the first thing I noticed when I pulled it out of the dryer, was that it faded. Now, as far as the way it held up in the dryer, another thing that maybe you cannot see that I can see because I'm, physically looking at it, is it lost some of its luster, some of its shine. It did, like I said, it had some shine to begin with, not tons like a bamboo, but it did have it. It lost some of it when it came out of the dryer. It actually lost quite a bit of the shine that it had. And I know I'm going to get people saying that it doesn't look faded and it still looks shiny. You just have to take my word on it. People's devices show different things. Maybe my lighting isn't showing up well or anything, but it is faded and it has lost its luster. But other than that, it held its shape well. It did, I guess it started to peel a bit. You see that fuzziness up on it? Yeah, it did do that. And I did notice that, I don't know, when it came out of the dryer, like I said, the first thing I noticed, I thought it looked like it was dirty and it looked faded. I don't think that it performed extremely well in the wash and dry test. It might appear that it did, but I'm looking at it straight up and it came out looking duller, like dirtier looking. I can't explain it. Just more used, Of course it would though, because you put it through the washer and dryer. Of course it's going to look more used. It's fuzzed up a bit more. It's lost its luster. So I think that if I would have hand washed this and laid it flat to dry, it would still look brand new. I really think that. So I think saying that you could put it in the washer and dryer is fine. It's an okay recommendation because, like I said, it still came out intact and everything. It doesn't look too awful bad, although I did notice that, I don't know what happened there. That wasn't like that when I put it in there. But despite that, it did what I guess what you would expect. I guess not all yarns do this. I don't know. It just faded, and it's starting to look a little bit, used. And I just wonder after a few, if you made a blanket out of it after a few washes, what's it going to look like, But yeah. You can definitely put it in a washer and dryer. It doesn't tear it up. It just loses its luster. You can tell it's been washed and dried. You can tell it's been used, and it's faded. But other than that, it held its shape. It didn't come apart or anything like that. So labeling it washable and dryable is fine. But myself, if you were gonna spend hours making something, I would always recommend hand wash, lay flat, because it's going to look like that. It's going to look brand new. This is the piece that has not been washed or dried. You hand wash that, lay it flat, it's going to look like this after it dries. It's going to look still new. But that's just me. Okay, Bagoday, what do you say? What do you think? Remember, my opinion does not matter at all. All right, I'm not anybody special. I'm just showing you a yarn review. I'm giving you an honest opinion. Remember, I am not affiliated. I do not care if you buy the yarn, and I mean, whether you buy it or not makes no difference to me. Whether you buy it and like it or hate it, makes no difference to me. I mean, I'm just telling you my honest opinion about the yarn. I think that the Caron Calorama Bamboo Blend is a nice yarn. Yes, it crocheted and performed nicely. The colors, the variegateds and the solids match well enough that you can put them together and create something nice if you wanted to do that. It's soft. Yes, it's definitely soft. It's got you know, a minimal shine to it. It's probably just right, you know. It's a lighter side on the 4, but you know, it's not bad. It's still 4. I do think, although it did perform the wash and dry test and held up, that I would, if I was to buy it again, I would definitely hand wash. I usually hand wash everything anyways, except for blankets. Price, it's definitely overpriced. It is not worth $13.49. I only bought it for $13.49 because I want for the review. I would never pay $13.49 in a million years for this yarn. No, it is not worth $13.49. I can take a much better yarns that I would buy for $13.49 than this Calorama Bamboo Blend. I can think of much better yarns that are a lot less than this that I would buy, that are similar bamboos, almost, that are similar 100% bamboos or even bamboo blends that are half the price that I would buy before this one. But given all that, if the price was lower, say maybe they knock that, I know yarn's expensive, I know it is. Say they'd take that $13.99. What do you got? 400 yards here? Gotta go with today's market, I guess. Hey, you know, they cut that in half, maybe $6.99, $7.99, maybe is still be okay. $7.99 would be good. Yeah, I'd pay $7.99 for it. It's got a nice amount of yardage in it, and it crochets nicely. I'm not a variegated person, so I wouldn't buy the variegateds. They're pretty, they are, but I'm just not really that type of person. I prefer solids. But if it was say $7.99, I would buy it. Yeah, I'd probably buy it again. If I had something special, you know, that I wanted to make with it. But then again, I know some bamboo, 100% bamboos that perform just as well for about that price as well. So, you know, I would have to consider all, if I was looking for a bamboo yarn or a bamboo blend, I would consider all of them on the market today, and I would be honest and say that this would not be my first choice. It wouldn't be. But if it was on sale at a good price, yeah, I'd buy it again. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It performed well in all the tests. I mean, I showed you everything. And I think once it hits Joann's, that price will go down a lot. It's just expensive because it's at Yarnspirations. You know, that's why it's so much money. $13.49, man. That's crazy. Well, to me it is. Because like I said, I think of some, a lot of yarns I paid $13.49 for with the same amount of yarns over this one. But that's okay, because everybody's different. I would call this an okay. If I had to rate it on a scale of, I don't know, 1 to 5, 1 to 10, I don't know. As far as bamboo and bamboo blends, we'll take that. Bamboo and bamboo blends, 1 to 10. I guess I would just split it right down the middle. It's just an average bamboo blend yarn. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing extraordinary about it either. How about that? But yeah, if it was on sale, I'd buy it again. Sure, I would. But I'd hand wash it. Remember though, don't take my word for it. And whenever it's on, I wouldn't pay $13.49 for it. It's not worth that. But if you see it on sale, buy your ball. Remember, it could be the best yarn that you've ever had in your entire life. Could be the worst too. But it's always worth a try, right? I'll see you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.